How many times did I defer my power away to a man? And the first things that pop up to my mind are not even like in relationships, just, and I feel like if a lot of women just ask themselves that question, like, where in my life did I defer to a man on purpose? How much of this is ingrained in us? And I have a flashback of I was just at a karaoke thing. I'm singing at karaoke, and someone asked me to sing twice. I said, "You're gonna have to pay me." Well, the man started talking about paying me and creating a gig, and I'm a part of a band, and we sing mostly gospel music. And before I knew it, I had called my band leader Hakeem, when really we all three have an equal stake in the foundation of building the group. So why, when it was time to talk business, did I invite another man to talk to another man and excuse myself to go talk to the women? I'm a strong Black woman raised by strong Black women. What just happened? And so understanding that the societal structures do have an effect on us, and we love the song and we love the dance, but I don't know if it's in the front of our minds that Jimmy is saying, "Baby, you're 18 and you're ready," meaning he has been had his eyes on this girl since she's 16 years old. When Curtis is getting with Effie, she is between 16 and 18 years old, and this is a man who is in his late 30s, early 40s. I even think that the racism is one thing, but I also feel like sexism and misogyny is like above it all.
Yes.
And even in one of my talks, in being Effie White, we had a talk back with our constituents, and a lot of them were talking about Tina Turner in that era of being alive and paying a ticket for a show, sitting in the audience, and knowing that a woman was being beat up behind stage. And you still stay there and you watch them come out. You see the bruise upside her head. Ike was almost up there saying, "You better sing this song right, or I'm gonna hit you upside your head." There are recordings of him saying that live in a concert. And everybody still sits in their seats and is able to watch this as entertainment.
Man.
And just kind of letting that sink in. So it's not that this is the first time we've ever had to face it. It's the first time that we've faced it with enough voices willing to validate that this is wrong. And I feel like that's something we all have to take accountability for.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that they all should have bum rushed the stage and snatched her off the stage and protected her. I don't know exactly what should have happened in that moment, but like, I definitely shouldn't be giving my money and just sitting here and I'm knowing a woman is getting beat up behind the stage. I had to face, what concessions do I give men when we say boys will be boys? That's just how they are. My grandmother would say, "It's something wrong with all of them. Get the one with the check." I I just challenge with this movie. I challenge myself that it all crumbles in on itself when we do not move in love. And so I even think in this political climate, women have been oppressed, men being oppressed, LGBTQ being oppressed, everybody's being oppressed. So now we have no choice but to face the root of the oppression and give up our privileges, because there are none for anybody. There are no more privileges. And I think it's going to have to get worse and worse and worse until we realize that there are actually no privileges. That was the major obstacle for me moving through the play. And there's actually a part in the play where Effie says to Curtis at the end, she says, she has a realization that he never believed in her and he was playing her from the beginning. And as a woman, I had to like make that universal, because there are women who are dutiful wives who wake up 40 years later, they done had all the kids and realize they just got somebody who don't even like them. You just there to do your role. And
Yeah.
so the realization, us women have more power than we've been led to believe. And for us to be in agreement, how dangerous was it for Effie to be in agreement with Curtis when her intuition told her that singing backup was a trap?
Yeah.
And would Curtis have been able to accomplish and hurt as many people as he hurt if Effie would have been strong enough to not defer to a man and to follow her first mind?
Yeah, like knock him out. I'm just kidding. Because when we first seen that play, I mean the movie, I could not believe that everybody in the theater stood up and clapped at the end of it. That's how powerful it was. And speaking about powerful, let's talk about Green on Dreamgirls. What did playing Effie White mean to you personally, and what did the role teach you about yourself?
I had a disconnect from who I truly am with how I was perceiving other people to see me. And so in my mind, I never got the role I wanted. I never got the accolades I want. And I feel that whenever you're saying never and always, there's something that you are missing. And there are a lot of criticisms that could come. Like, I don't stick with the exact timing of the music. And I am a person who likes to hear things in the music and kind of go their own way. And so, in the opposition, there were times where I felt that I could not do it. There were times that I felt that I did not look beautiful. There were times where I felt like everyone was out to get me. And I think this is the major takeaway that the spirit was trying to tell me. What if everybody's out to get you? Does it really matter? And I think that opening night, I was like having like a breakdown of sorts. And I remember I got into my costume and I went out there and I was like, I don't think I'm going to do this. And I actually saw my friend Bryson. She is transgendered and she was able to have an opportunity to have a lead role, which I feel is in a culmination of all of the people behind the scenes who support her. That was in a culmination of her acceptance. And something kind of snapped in my mind because that is the power of theater. And so even the obstacles that I thought were obstacles, just showing up every day helped me to be resilient against that. Because how dare I not do my part, even if it's just for her to have this moment? As I stepped out onto the stage, the audience's reactions to what I was doing really shocked me and took me aback. And I remember, like, after opening night, I remember I was crying and the spirit whispered in my ear that it doesn't matter who supports you or doesn't support you. The culmination of who you are over time, the things you
Yes.
have sacrificed, the things you have practiced, the person you are behind closed doors, it culminates in moments. And I feel like my whole life was kind of setting me up for that moment to be able to understand what Effie White represents. And Effie White represents all those who are misrepresented, who are underrepresented and marginalized. And I do think that our society glorifies mediocrity
Yeah.
because mediocrity can be matched. And so I even think when it comes to like people who stress about being correct about the music and doing it exactly the way it is, that's a lack of ability. And I think as Black people, we are so used to putting ourselves in the box, not knowing that they created the box so that they could compete with us. And I'm going to use they and just use that as a loose term, and it can just fit anybody who it needs to fit. Because I think now we're going beyond race, we're going beyond color, we're going beyond gender, and we're just speaking to people. And I think as a society, when we see one person that rises and challenges us to do better, it is the first mind of the society to tear that person down.
Mm-hmm.
And so I feel that the biggest takeaway I took from Dreamgirls is just how powerful I am as a person. And when I would look out into the audience, I would just know, like, everybody has had an experience where someone has taken our power away from us.
Yes.
Something we deserved, something we earned. And it wasn't right, it wasn't fair. But if I have the power to be resilient against my circumstances, then so does everybody else. And so I think even in that kind of helped me, the role of Effie White helped me step into my actual calling and being confident that that is what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm supposed to be empowering people to understand, like, everything that happened to Effie was really just a plot against her to rob her talent. It's not that you're too big. It's not that you can't dance. It's not that you can't do it. It's not because of what society says. It's because you have something valuable that someone wants to steal from you.
Mm.
And I think that's the root of a lot of people's discomfort in life. And so the role also helped me to break free of not believing in myself, not believing I'm talented, not believing I could do it, thinking that people would set me up for failure. And I hate to toot my own horn, but this is one that I have to toot my own horn with. It didn't matter what I wore. It didn't matter. It didn't even matter what I got up there and sang, because I am praying to the Holy Spirit to help me touch one person. I am praying every night before I go out there that one little girl be touched, to know that if she look like me, she can do it. She can make it. Looking like me is not going to stop her.
Mm.
And I also think it helped me break down these little barriers in what I call Black excellence. And so, like, growing up with educated parents, there's a certain look you have to give. There's a certain
Right.
demure attitude that you have to have as a lady. And you are taught that that creates safety and that you have privileges because of that. And being Effie White made me have to let all of that go. There was even times where I had to choose, are you going to look cute up here on this stage? Or are you going to put your body in the right format to be able to sing this note to the people? And I had to make a choice that I don't care how I look. I don't care if this is a respectable posture or not. The story must be told.
Dude, yes.
And kind of even releasing those things within me allowed me to be able to express Effie White better when she's seducing Curtis and they ain't married. There were, there were certain blocks in me. I'm kind of prudish. I'm like, oh no. And if you don't know, the man who played Curtis, he's actually married in real life, and we love his wife. And so, me, I'm like, I'm a face all frowned up. They gotta call in the intimacy specialist and stuff. But I think those are the times where our perception of the situation is just completely different from the reality of the situation. And so I had to ask myself, is that why I give up my power and opportunities? Because I'm so busy trying to be in a woman's place because of
Mm.
respectability. And so I was just very glad. But I feel like the one thing I took away, somebody actually wrote me a card, and she said that I was showing her what it means, excuse my French, to have it in you, not on you. And I think that doing this role really did break down the last few boundaries I had concerning appearance and acceptance, because it is not actually about what's on you, it is about what is in
In
you.
you. Yes.
And I find that, I guess, the best takeaway that I can just leave y'all on, uh in my life, I made a decision that I ain't gonna be nobody's baby mama child. And I used to think, take pride in that. And, sometimes you
Mm-hmm.
turn up your nose when you see people. But Effie was a baby mama. And when she got back with Dina and they decided they was going to apologize to each other the last time, Effie is singing about how happy she is because she has the love of her child to pull her through.
Mm-hmm.
And she look at Dina. Dina's supposed to be the one that's happily married and stuff. And she look at Dina and be like, well, Dina, are you happy? And Dina got to break down and cry because she's not happy because Curtis is using her and robbed her of the opportunity to give birth, which is a part of women's birthright, a part of their life process, whether they're married or not.
Yeah.
And so I even think looking at that made me be able to release certain stigmas that were still living in my mind rent free. And I'm supposed to be so woke. And so I also had a young lady. I was talking about it on the stage and we were having one of our discussions, and a young lady came up to me after the show with tears in her eyes because her mom was a single mom, and people talked about her mom, and people talked about how she was had a baby out of wedlock and that nothing was going to go right. And that's a lot of pressure to be on a young lady.
Yeah.
And I remember I told the young lady, you are the expression that they were wrong. Because look at you. You probably done accomplished more or just as much as the kids or the people who was talking mess. And I think that's another thing that we have to accept. It doesn't matter whether you come from the parents of distinguished people, people who are married, or people who are not married. All of the young people are coming together to tell the story that it just doesn't work. It's trauma in both environments. And we all got to go to therapy. So perhaps we
Yeah.
shouldn't be focused on married or unmarried. Perhaps we can challenge ourselves to go a little bit deeper.
Exactly. I agree with you. You know, this time it went by so fast. I gotta have you back again. I definitely gotta have you back again
Anytime.
because there's some things that we're just scratching the tip of the iceberg. Um, I'm gonna give you a call because I got some things I want to discuss with you and see if you willing to help out with something that I it just popped up in my head, and you a perfect fit for what I want to do. And because I'm listening to you talk, I hear everything what you're saying. You being young, I believe the youth. I believe that. And that's the reason why the youth is going to be running this radio station. I already got it point blank. That's what they're going to do because I want them to get involved. I want them to show their talent. I want them to get up there and talk to the other youth. We can do it. Because right now, be honest with you, we got youth floating around out there don't know what to do after high school now.
Yes. Yeah.
And
And,
go ahead.
and I really do advocate for mentorship for them. And I would definitely be willing to be a part of anything you have going on. You have created a spark in me. This whole radio situation seems so fun. And I also, before our time was up, I did want to just say how much of a good experience I had at the San Pedro Theater. The director, Darcel Andre Baez, created an environment where everyone was safe to his best ability. And I think it is so important for us to support each other and to uplift each other. And I just want y'all to know when it comes to the interpersonal relationships between all of the people involved in this play, there was so much love, There was so much attention to detail and excellency. There was
Mm-hmm.
so much Black pride. I had Black women rally around me and support me, help me. And I want y'all to know it's a lot of hate out there in this world.
Yes.
But this is an instance where Black people came together and we supported one another. And even the people that were not brown supported one another. And just the example of who we were to each other was an inspiration to everybody. And so I just, regardless of, the little psychoanalyzations of the situation, I wanted
Mm-hmm.
to make it so clear that we got so much love and support from the San Pedro Theater. And I am looking forward to working with them again in the future.
So, when's the next time, or are they going to do Dream Girl again?
Now that's where things get tricky. Normally, one theater house wouldn't do the same show back to back to back. And the last time that San Antonio did this show was 7 years ago at a different theater. So that will be up to the different theater houses in San Antonio to kind of come together and see what they would like to do on that. But I also will say and tell people that most people who do these plays, they have 9 to 5 jobs just like
Mm-hmm.
you. And I know that the director called me specifically from another city just to fill this role. So sometimes things just line up. This show just really lined up really well for it to come together. But I do think that the theater is going to process, think about, I think theaters in the San Antonio area, after seeing what happened with Dreamgirls, because
Mm-hmm.
I need y'all to know, they might not have thought it, but Dreamgirls was the moneymaker for the season.
Yeah.
So this is breaking down barriers, whereas maybe in the past, Black shows maybe wouldn't have sold out the way they are now.
Right.
So timing and synchronicity is powerful. And I do think that moving forward, there will be so many more opportunities for us to like express our craft because the proof is in the pudding. It's
Yes.
lucrative.
Yeah. So let me know where you when you are in a play again, because I would personally love to come there and see you. As long as it's not on Mars or the moon anywhere, I'll be able to travel anywhere to come see you. Just let me know. Say, hey Ron, I'm in so and so play on this date. I'll check my. No, matter of fact, if it's on the date and I got some on my calendar, I would clear that calendar just to come see you perform.
I'm looking forward to an audition on May the 16th with the
Mm,
San Pedro Theater. So I have a lot of high hopes for their next season. And I will
okay.
keep you posted.
Alrighty. We're about out of time, but I'm gonna call you later on this week, and we're gonna talk about some things that I want to do with you, and I think it'd be a good contribution to the youth around here.
Yes, and I'm always willing. I am willing.
Okay. All right. You take care, and thank you for coming on the show, taking out your busy time, and we will talk to you later.
Okay, thank you. Bye bye.
All right. Thank you. Bye. All right, everybody. That was Alenzia right there. She is something else. I'm telling you that was good. That was good. Let me see here. In about another 6 minutes, we will have what's happening in San Antonio with our very own Sharon Bell Moses will be on here. So just stay tuned. We just gonna play a little music. We're not gonna even disappear. We're not gonna disappear. Let's hear a little Chucky right now on WSAN Radio.